So first of all, my name is Hossein Amir Ahmadi. I'm a regulated immigration consultant. My business name is ICGC, Immigration Consultants Group Canada Inc. And it was established in 2009. And since then, we have had many cases and different type of cases, from investment cases, from sponsorship cases, even refugees, skilled worker or job offer. We have done tons of that. Every year, just the skilled worker, we at least have 100 cases every year. So, but today we're going to discuss about how to avoid fraud or fraudulent immigration process. Thanks to Melina and Sahar in our office, they made this presentation for me. So avoid immigration fraud. Now, first of all, verify your immigration consultant or your immigration lawyer, and don't be shy. Ask them, are you a member of ICCRC, or are you a lawyer where I can verify your credential with the Law Society? And we are used to it. I mean, any lawyer, any immigration consultant, if you ask them, they should be happy. I mean, if you ask me, I'll be happy to provide you all the information to make sure that you're working with someone who is licensed and they know the law. Yeah, so ask for their credential. Make sure that and go and check. It's easy to check on the website, on the ICCRC website or Law Society. And when if you put just the first name, it gives you all the members with their same first name. Or if you give them last name or name of the company, if you give them the name of the company, again, it will show who is the immigration consultant, what's their email address, what's their phone number. One of the things that happens is that someone pretends to be me. And they go on Instagram, they make a page by the name of Hossein Amir Ahmadi, immigration consultant, and they will try to talk to people that, oh, I can get you a work permit for $500. I mean, if it's too low or if it's too high, if it's not making sense for you, investigate it. Make sure that you're doing the right thing. I've seen cases like this that someone sends me a retainer agreement, says that I've got a retainer agreement with so-and-so immigration consultant. I paid them $500, and after I paid them, they didn't do anything. And I said, I mean, as soon as I saw the name of the immigration consultant, I knew the guy. I said, okay, let me verify it with him because I know the guy, and he's not the type of guy to just take your money and don't answer you. So I called him. I said, do you have a client by this name? And he goes, no, I have no idea. And the guy that was the client, he had a copy of his passport. He sent me the copy of the passport. The picture is right. It's the right picture, but all other information is wrong, like the place of birth, passport number, date of issue, everything. So they have photoshopped the passport, and they send it to the client. This is me, and this is my immigration consultant. This is my website, but they're working through a different email. So that's why if you go on ICCRC, you will see what's the registered email address and a phone number and address as well, where they are located. So this way you can contact them directly. So if somebody says that I'm an agent of Hossein Amir Ahmadi, you could contact me directly. You could go on ICCRC, you will see my email address there, my phone number, and you can contact me directly to verify that so-and-so person is my agent or not. So do your investigation, do your due diligence, make sure that the person that you're working with is licensed, because if they're not licensed, they're not responsible for anything. They do anything, any kind of fraud, and if they are not close to you, you cannot sue them. There is nothing you can do. And even ICCRC, if you are not member of ICCRC, they cannot do anything about you. So this part of it is very important, that you verify who's the person that you're working with. So now, one important part of the immigration process is that there is no guarantee. I can never guarantee you that 100% this will be done or this will be approved. If somebody tells you, don't worry, 100%, I'll guarantee that you will get approval, something is wrong with that. So even if you go on immigration website, you will see that it says, tells you that there is 100% guaranteed, it's 100% fraud. So be careful with things like that. Next one is people who tell you, don't worry, your bank account, we can fix it for you. We'll edit that, put it there. Your education, put whatever you want to do. You want to be a master's degree, PhD degree, just put that on your application. There is no problem with that. They will never find out. No, if they ask you to lie on your application, it's definitely no go. Stop there. And if they ask you to sign blank forms or application forms, just to give them, say, okay, we have all your information, just sign here and then we'll fill out the information later. No, fill out the information, make sure you go through the information, they're all correct, then sign the application form. See, no matter what happens, if anything goes wrong, immigration says your signature is at the bottom of the forms, application forms, and you are responsible for whatever was in the forms. So next thing is cash payment. Normally, Europe, North America, it's not a normal thing to ask for a cash payment. If they ask you to, oh, pay me all in cash, no. Normally, people here, either it's a credit card or a check or a debit card. Cash payment is very rare. So normally people, they don't ask you to pay cash. And if they ask you for big cash, 10,000, 15,000, something is wrong. So make sure you have a receipt for it. That's very important. If you pay them, later on they may come back, oh, you missed the payment. You didn't pay this much to us. So you need to have and it happens. I have seen a lot. One with the good immigration consultants, they forget or they don't put it in their accounting. They come back after a few months, so they don't remember it and say, oh, there is no payment for this job. We haven't received anything. And then they will contact the client that you missed the payment. So if you don't have a receipt, it's easy that they will accuse you for paying more. So be careful with all these small details, and don't worry about that you're offending anyone. We are used to it. I mean, I'm used to that. Clients, they will ask me for all the details, all small details, that how you're going to do this, how you're going to do that, how I'm going to pay you, what happens after this, what happens after that, can you give me your credentials? So we are used to it. It's nothing new. So don't be shy. If you have any question, ask them. Otherwise, later on, you will be sorry. So don't be sorry. Just ask your questions. Okay, now when it comes to job offer, this is very important. How can you understand if the job offer is real or it's just a scam? No interview required. If employer don't see you, don't take an interview, job interview from you, how can they be sure that you are the right person for their business? Especially when it comes to certain jobs like IT jobs, bookkeeper, marketing. If you, let's say you are a mechanic, a welder, a pipe fitter. Well, up to a certain point, you could say they will ask for your documents. They will ask for your certificates, your job letter, the employment letter, and that could be enough. It could be enough. Most employers, they want to interview as well to see what's your knowledge. They want to see how you speak English. All that is something that every employer does. So it's not out of normal to have a job interview. So if they ask you, I mean, there is no interview, there is no job interview, you get approved right away. No, it's not true. Unreasonable payment. So if they ask you for your first payment, pay me 15,000, 20,000. Again, it's there is something fishy with it. So make sure you understand the whole thing. Make sure what you're paying for. Get the receipt, everything. No experience required. That's one of the things that you see. I used to live in Dubai, and we used to bring people from outside of other countries, from Turkey, from India, from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and they didn't have really to show any work experience. They get them the work permit, and they could be mechanic. Now they are working as a welder or different jobs. It doesn't really, they don't really care about it. But here it's different. We have something that's called NOC code. So that gives you a requirement, your education, what certificates you need to have, and what work experience you need to have. Most jobs, you need minimum of 2 years work experience, sometimes even 3 or 4 years. But very little. There are jobs that like customer service, or if you're working on a farm, you don't need experience. But most of the jobs, you need to have minimum of 2 years work experience. So if somebody tells you, you don't need to have any work experience, or you are a mechanic, they say, I'll get you a job in the office. No, that's not true. It's not easy to do that. I'll get you a job as a manager. No, that's not true. One more thing, 99% of job offers are closed work permit, which means that you can only work for that employer. So if they tell you that you get an open work permit, when you get there, you don't like the job, just go and find you another job. That's not true. There are very little programs that they give you open work permit. There are few programs that they give you occupation specified, so which means that you could be in the same job, but you could work for different employers. Let's say that you take care of children, nanny or babysitter. You could work for different families with the same job. You could not change and go to work in a restaurant or other businesses. So if it's occupation specified, you can only work for that position with other employees. If it's location specified, then it's only for that location. You cannot go anywhere else. So make sure you understand what kind of LMIA or job offer you're getting. Oh, this one is good. Just last week, we had 3 of these people contacting us saying that I have an LMIA. Can you apply for my work permit? And we said, okay, so send over your documents. They sent a document like this, and this is fraud. It's not a real LMIA. Somebody has photoshopped something for themselves. The red LMIA that you see on top, no, this is wrong. They never do that. The flag that you see, the Canadian flag that you see on the left side, no, that's not true. And then job positions, it's handwritten. You will never see that. So these are the examples of how they can trick somebody. To be honest with you, I called both numbers. The one of these phone numbers doesn't exist. The other phone number belonged to a physiotherapy. And this is the fake employment contract. They could come up with so many different things. Just be aware what you're getting. One more thing that we saw just recently, they get an email that looks like you're getting an email from Immigration Canada, from CIC. And they are telling you that you're chosen for the PR, for permanent residency to Canada. So please come and apply. Your application fee is $750. And this is our PayPal account. Pay us through the PayPal. government of Canada will never ask you to send money on PayPal. They have their own system that they go on the immigration website and pay the fees if you have to. And unless you have a profile with the government, like you go on the immigration website, the Express Entry, you create your profile, you go into a pool, your name may come up and you get selected, they send you an invitation to come and apply for PR. Otherwise, without having any application, without having any profile, immigration is not gonna just send you an email, say you're approved for PR or come and apply for PR. That's not true. Yeah, this is the email that I was talking about. I mean, they send you an email like this that you are being chosen to pay to apply for PR, and they ask you for 1,300. So each one of them 650, and then 1,300. And you see the email address they're providing is Gmail address. The payment they want you to pay through PayPal. No, immigration will never ask you to pay fees through the PayPal. Here's another example of the fake payment they will ask you to pay. Oh, a startup. One of the things that happens with a startup, maybe you guys have heard recently, most of the startup files, instead of 1 year processing time, it's gone up to 36 months processing time. It's because the officers want to review the cases, and sometimes, and we have seen it a lot, they sell you a startup idea. They create something for you that you have no idea about it. You have never done such a job. So that could be a problematic for you. It could be that you couldn't really present the case if you're not in marketing and they put you as a marketing manager. That could be a big problem. Or if they put you as a production manager and you have no experience in that part. So if they just come up with ideas that just to create something for you, don't go for it. I mean, you see all these applications that they're delayed. Most probably, most of them will be rejected because officers gonna go through every small detail. They're gonna check your background, what you have done before, what you're doing with your team, and what incubator has done for you, how much you have been participating. And if they find out that it's not true, it's not genuine, they will refuse your application. Yeah, the without related job experience or academic background, that's one of the reasons that if they tell you, oh, you don't need anything. Before, a few years ago, for a startup, you needed to have at least MBA. They took it away that even if you have a high school diploma, you can apply. But the reason they took that away, it's because there are lots of people with good ideas, especially in IT, that they only have high school diploma. They're self-teach. They know exactly what they are doing, either with making an app or a program, but they don't have anything to show for it. But if they have the idea and they can prove it's their own idea, it's a genuine, yes, that works. Without language requirements, these days, almost any program in immigration needs language. At least, see, the minimum requirement for a startup is IELTS 4. Even IELTS 4 is very low. I mean, if you look on immigration website, it says IELTS 4 is very basic in knowledge of English. So that's not really good. You need to have a better English. You're going to be working in a Canadian environment. You need to understand what people ask you. You should be able to answer them. So English is important. Incubators, are you guys familiar with incubators? No?
No.
Yeah, okay. So when you apply for a startup, there are 3 designated groups that they can approve you, or they give you a letter of support So you can apply for your work permit and you can apply for your PR. One of them is incubator. The other one is venture capitals and angel investors. These three groups, they review your case. In case of incubators, they normally they charge you an amount and give you coaching. They coach you through the whole process for 18 months until you have your business up and running. They help you with the office, they help you with your marketing, with sales, how to fund your program, everything. But angel investors, normally they have to invest minimum of 75,000 in your project. So if they are willing to invest in your business and they give you a letter of support, with that, you can apply for a work permit. At the same time, you can also apply for PR as well. And same thing with the venture capitals, but they need to invest minimum of 200,000 in your business. So incubators or angel investors, they're not going to approve you without having an interview with you. Unless they know who you are, what you're going to do in the project, they're not going to give you approval. They're not going to give you a letter of support. Without the letter of support, it doesn't mean anything. So make sure that if somebody tells you, oh, we'll get you approval, you don't need to have any interview with incubator or angel investors, not true. Oh, the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. You guys probably have heard about this, right? This is one of the programs that you could apply for PR directly. I'll explain how the system works. And if you guys have any question, let me know. The same way that we can apply for LMI. You guys are familiar with LMIA, right? Labor Market Impact Assessment. We apply to Service Canada, say that we cannot find the right person for this profession, and we get the positive LMIA. So with that, we can apply for the work permit, so we can bring in the foreign worker, temporary foreign work. When we want to apply for PNP, for example, BCPNP, the skilled worker BCPNP, it's a joint application. Employer and employee, both of them, they send in the application. Employer is saying that I'm supporting this person for PR and they want a nomination so you can apply for PR. So that's how normally PNP program works. This pilot program, the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, is a little bit different. It's same kind of a PNP program that employer applies and says that I'm supporting someone, but they have pre-approved positions. Let's say a hotel has got 5 cook positions with the pre-approved PNP program. And if they agree, they take your name, they sign you up on the immigration website, and on the same website, there is a process of the job offer, and then it goes into a process so you get your PR after a year. One of the conditions for the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program is that you work for the same employer that supports you minimum of 1 year. For 12 months, you have to work for that employer and you have to live in that province. You cannot leave the province that's the only program that binds you that you have to stay in that province. You cannot leave the province and you have to work for the same, even though you have a PR, you still have to work for the same employer.